This is your daily market recap for Thursday, July 14th, 2022. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Thursday, July 14th, 2022. Hopefully you had another amazing day. This room is doing pretty well, and I hope everybody's learning something. Again, we spend most of the day, or at least I do, trying to answer questions and keep people up to date of what's going on. If you're newer to the channel, check out the Discord room. Link is in the description of this video. Again, if you're not sure what we're up to, check out also my Twitter feed. Had some monster winners today. Talked about the SPY holding here at 372. A nice bounce up into the close. The GDX hitting the weekly range lows and bouncing. Dollar peaking. Oh man, what SMH? Where are you at, SMH? Talked about that with the CHIPS Act. A lot of us were, here we go, talked about if you could get the SMH back on a dip. We did that. Again, I don't even want to talk about the calls. You know if you're doing well or not. And if you're not, again, I always start this video trying to help people realize, like, they're usually one or two things away from consistently winning. All the knowledge that you've gained, if you're trading for the last 1 to 3 years, has been another block on the path to grow. And a lot of people sometimes just don't have the guidance to get over that next hump. I love helping beginners, but they really have a long way to go, and they have to figure this out. It's like learning the language. Like, say you want to speak English, you know, you got to know the alphabet to speak the language. What I'm speaking, my language speaks to people who've been trading for a while. And again, if you know the facts that 90% of traders will fail, my goal is to lift you up, to give you the confidence to do what you need to do to excel. And trading is a buy yourself thing. No one will ever force you to do anything. You hit enter the trade, you exit it. So you got to learn how to like manage these emotions and become a winner. And a lot of it is in your head. It's not how to execute. It's, well, maybe it is partially, like, you know, people all or nothing trade versus layering in, layering out. People who don't know how to take profits. That stuff is all in your head. So I think always keep in mind, like I always tell people, you get into a trade expecting to win. Admitting you're gonna lose at some point is by far the hardest thing. And, you know, we all lose. I'm not immune. I mean, there's great days and there's not so good days. I just try to make sure the not so good days aren't blowout days, you know, and the days that are great, hopefully we stack piles on wins. And again, the ultimate goal of your trading account is to look like a bullish stock, higher highs and higher lows. That's the goal. All right, enough of that. Bitcoin said this about, I don't know, it's been, man, how many since, I mean, it's been about a month. Chop. It's either chopping to pop to the trend line, which trend line we don't know. It's chopping to pop, or it's chopping to pop and fail. Now people would say that's not really great insight, and honestly, you have to play the probabilities. You need more information. That's the problem. If you think there's anything certain about the action right now, I can't tell you that. Again, this is the capitulation, but you haven't gotten off the floor. If we can break this, we're probably going up to here. You're probably getting somewhere back into the 36,000 range, maybe even 30s. At this point, it just needs more information. Sorry. That's part of trading. Sometimes knowing when not to trade something or not expecting a lot out of something. And you can be late if you think the bottom has potential. I mean, or if you think not being in at the bottom has potential in time to move. And we'll talk about that because there is actually some trades that today that they lined up like winners. They didn't win. And again, they were late, wasn't the bottom. It just is what it is. Like, trading is one of those things where if you can be patient, then you can wait it out and you set a stop. If you can't be, this can be absolute purgatory. Oil, wow, big doji today. I've said this a million times. I think it's going lower in time. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be choppy. Remember, demand destruction. Everybody's long oil. No one's long tech anymore. Remember, tech is dead. It's all commodities. Well, if you study the past, after tech bubbles, what happens? You get cycles back in and out, but tech makes lower lows, lower highs. Well, at a certain point, it does bounce because sentiment is wrecked, but people still do remember they once were leaders. That's kind of the philosophy of why I am buying tech near term and have been, because I think there is a bounce. I'm staying away from commodities. I thought they'd bounce, and they really haven't. I do like gold at this point, but we'll get into that. For oil now, man, so close to the trend line. Again, I think it's just going to chop out. I mean, you can trade it, but me personally, I'll come back to it later if it gives me an opportunity to short it. If you are short it, hey, you get the high five, because you guys who stuck with it definitely won. Now, again, it's all opportunity cost. It's not like we're losing in other places, but that was a win. It's just be careful now. I don't know how much downside is really left in that stuff near term. Again, I think 65 is coming sometime during the middle of the wipeout later for a bear market, but I mean, it's not going back to zero, but it's also not going back to 120 anytime soon. TLT, here's another reason why we think oil is going lower. I mean, yields are going lower, bonds are being bought, TLT is going higher. If we talked about if you could have bought this day, which a lot of us did, we said watch this area in the 20-day, nice little gap, pop, chop. Now again, day to day, it's really hard. I still think you're getting the 120s. This is the first entry. I don't think I got in here. I can't remember or not, but definitely got in here. Again, I'm not in front of my positions. They've changed. I trade in and out of them a little bit here and there as we talk about layer in, layer out. Dips, pips, pops, whatever. I still think you can go upside. People are still saying like, wow, you're insane. It's like, no, look at the supply zones here and the support in the 108 to 113 range. I mean, it seems very supportish for now. I don't know how high. I mean, I'm guessing 120s. That's all I'm really thinking about. I'm not thinking about, I'm not thinking that it's going lower, but I'm also not expecting the world. And if it ends up being the world, great. But I like it. It's a safe trade. I can sleep overnight very well holding bonds. There's nothing that doesn't scare me. US dollar, this would scare me. Put out a tweet today, said, watch out for a trap. This could be the top. We are back into range highs for the UUP. I mean, maybe you get up to the channel high. At this point, I still think the dollar will go higher in time. Question is now. I don't think so. It's pretty tired. Look at this action. I mean, to get that kind of action leads to backfilling. I just think that's where we're at. Like, this is a pretty monumental size. So backfilling goes lower. How much? You really don't know until it happens. And people don't want to hear that answer, but that's the reality. That's why you take profits and you can look for dips. You don't know what the dip is going to be until it happens. And, you look for repeating patterns. And here would be my guess. You have a multitude of channels here. You have some support, maybe 2750. Maybe it's just the 50-day. I mean, again, that's where if it started dipping and you were a bull, you could start buying with tight stops. The VIX. Hello, my friend. This is not confirming bearish action. Look at this VIX. It is just every pop, flop, flop, flop. I've said this and I say it every video. I've probably said it since like mid-June. At some point, this will hit the channel. It will hit 18 to 20. Dan, no way. It's a bear market. Yes, even in bear markets, you get choppy VIX action before the blow off. Even in bear markets, you get choppy VIX action before the blow off. Got it? Good. SPY. Hello, hello, hello. If you bought the dip today, you are feeling pretty good. Well, why would you buy the dip? Well, what did we say? It's got to hold around here, around 372. And it did. Now what? Well, keep in mind, we are down, right? Down for the week for the most part. When was the first day of the week? Was the 11th? All right, here you go. OPEX down. There's going to be an up. Remember, it's CHOPEX. That's the name. Up and down. So if you're down most of the week, you're probably going to rally into the close. Now look what's happening here. You just got this big chop zone. Keep in mind, earnings seasonally bullish. Oil's down. Bond yields down. Market might have some green shoots. Now, I'm not saying the bear market's over, but it's looking more like this to pop. Keep that in mind. Look at this. Man, this is a very interesting structure. Let's look at this. Let's just circle this for yourself. Right? Is this the same action? Look at it. Let me open it up for you. New to me. Not new to me, but repeating patterns aren't. Look at that. When was this? 14, was that an OPEX maybe? Middle of March? OPEX? Middle of July? Again, I've said this for the last, I mean, since basically down here when we said, professional gap up, you made higher highs. It feels like the market wants to go higher. Now people go, well, what's your thesis? My thesis, everybody's bearish. The market loves to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Everybody's short. Go check out FinTwit, StockTwit, TwitTwit. Everybody's bearish. And when I say everybody, I mean the dumb money. And again, I'm dumb money, you're dumb money, whatever. The retail traders. Well, retail traders, all in short, I mean, go look at the post. I mean, it's just aggressive. Like, we got the world's ending. Like, where were these guys at when we were shorting up here? We said novice gap, fail. They were never to be seen. Now they're all short down here. They're all bullish here, all short down here. You see how this works out for them? Don't be those guys. Hang out with the winning team. Play like the house. Don't be the sucker. Same thing with the Qs, holding up relatively well. Here you go. Here's the last little chop before the pop. Here you go. Chips Act is coming. Qs are going to like it. Just saying it. I mean, I don't even need to repeat it. I mean, again, I think this is a bear market long term, but what happens? You get these bounces. Here's your little head and shoulders complex, and you bounce. So if it's true to form, guess where it's going? It's probably going up into the 190s. Come on, let me draw that. There we go. Yeah, let's say like that. I don't want to say perfection because we also know that it doesn't have to be. It's a big move, but no way. Why would you bottom? Well, look what we talked about. You're at the 2018 and 2020 highs. Support equals resistance. You want to see it a little closer? Here you go. Bounce. Bounce. Everybody's bearish. I'm telling you, that's a problem. That's a problem. All right. Gold. I'm calling the bottom. I could be wrong. Let's just preface that. Why? Again, we said the dollar's going to peak, right? It's OPEX. Novice gap. Novice gap. Now again, I mean, I put a video out of this. I'll link it for the GDX. I'll put it in here. I did a whole 13-minute video about the miners bottoming today. Novice gap. Novice gap. Now what? Well, Dan, why would you like this zone? Well, it's been support. Let me zig zow. The no-brainer buy zone. I mean, there it is, right? I mean, literally, there it is. We're at it. We're at a fib. 0.382. Now, again, I'm not saying you're probably going to new highs, but could it bounce for a couple weeks? Here you go. 168 up to 174. 158 up to 160 something. I don't know. 70 maybe? I don't know. Again, the best time to buy gold, I say it every video, is when the bear market capitulates. The first capitulation is usually the bottom in gold because that means the Feds now have to unwind tightening. They're not unwinding tightening. We all agree? Not time yet to trust in the big move. Silver, same thing. Big novice gap. Big novice gap. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Again, the monthly pretty much into our zone. And again, the best times to buy it, COVID, fing. Bear market, zing. We're not there yet. I'm not saying, again, you couldn't buy this down here. Actually, if you have the capacity, you should absolutely be buying physical down here. Try to get the lowest premiums possible. But at this point, what is obvious? It seems very obvious that there is a bounce coming. This is the lower end of range. I still think you could get 16, 15, maybe even as low as 13. Like, that would be, oh my God. I might drool on myself if we got that. I expect a pop. Let me close this up. That was definitely thought we'd hold here, but the action again, capitulation. Remember how we talk about repeating patterns? This needs to be a whole video in your mind about repeating patterns. Like, look at this. Novice gap, novice cap. I wish you had more volume, but I mean, I just think people have given up on silver, which in this instance, the best way to advertise it's going higher is to do what, my friends? Move the price up, not bring it down. That's what the market makers will do. They'll try to move the price up to get people excited. They can never buy at the bottom. They don't know how to. We do. GDX did a whole video on this. Why? Again, gap. Big gap, because keep in mind, you closed at 26 and you got all the way down to 25. Look at the volume. What do you call that? That is a doji. Doji. Where are we at on the monthly? 100 month. Oh, you're at the blue zone, literally bottom. Near term. Keep in mind, should pop. You don't go to the ground with these things. They will at some point during the wipeout of 2022 that's coming later, probably this year, or 2023. What do you say now? I mean, look at that. I mean, it probably could bounce from 25 to 30. That'd be a good move. You know, is that good? I think so. GDXJ. Some people are talking about playing this. I mean, it's literally the same thing. Doji, big volume, been obliterated. Novice cap, close there. Here. Now again, getting back over 30 is a amazing feat. Because keep in mind, you've been boom, bounce, chop, bounce, or whatever. Down, bounce, down, bounce, down, bounce, chop. We're below the channel. Yeah, I know. Again, seasonality, July is typically bullish metals. Check it for yourself. Don't trust me for anything. Double check everything. This looks very, very bouncy. Okay? I'm not saying I'm shorting, I'm saying I think the bottom's in. Now, if it goes a little lower Friday or next week, let me preface this actually, or let me add to this. The Tuesday post OPEX is typically the best time for metals to retest. Do you have to retest? Well, not necessarily if you stretch it out so hard. I mean, think about like a rubber band. You just stretch this out and you let go of the tension for a second, it goes whack, comes right back. Look at this move from 51 down to 34, 17 points. 42 down to 28. I mean, that's pretty symmetrical in size. Could it be a little lower? That's always the hardest part here with picking bottoms. But if you have the brain for picking bottoms and tops and knowing how this works, what do you think? The risk, is it worth the reward? I mean, that's up to you. Again, I don't know how much these things bounce. I'm pulling for the bounce because I know people buying them. And personally, I would like to buy them, but I am not moving away from my SMH calls and all my SMH stock. And like when I say calls, like calling for it to go higher. Like the CHIPS Act is coming. It is absolutely coming. It's a catalyst. I don't know what gold's catalyst is near term other than the dollar. AG, here you go. Here's some volume, choppy bottom. I think this thing has been beaten. I've said this yesterday. I think you get in the 8 or 9 range. That'd be my guess. AEM called the bottom yesterday. Oh, it went a little lower. Well, look at this doji. I mean, you know you're hunting in the right area. Ooh, sorry. Thought 43s. It closed at 43. You're the worst. No, I said leave it alone. Leave it. Go watch every video past literally 420. Leave the metals, the miners alone. And now I'm bullish down here, and you're going to tell me I'm an idiot. I know. I'll get 5 messages directly going, you are an idiot. And I love it. Honestly, it fuels me to know that I'm probably right, actually, because the people who don't know are usually the most aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't know, right? So it's easy to lash out and take out frustrations on others. NFGC, I've said I like this. Brat's buying it. I mean, it got real close to the box at around 390, whatever. It's due to bounce. PAAS, same thing. They're all due to bounce. A little bit of volume down here. I like it. I like it. Now again, how much do I like it? Your stops. I like my stops first. Where would you put your stops? At the lows. Think about where the miners were today. If you own any miner, you own gold, you own silver, use today's lows as your stops. If you get stopped out, doesn't mean you give up on the trade. That's the hardest thing about picking bottoms and tops. People get stopped out and they're like, oh, I'm done. And then they come back a month later and it's absolutely went in their direction. Well, you have characteristics of bottoming, but what's the hardest thing about trading? Probabilities. There's nothing certain. There's literally nothing certain here, but again, we're thinking about probability mindsets. We're probability-based traders. Probability of a bounce is incredibly high. U.S. Steel, again, materials names. I have laid off of these names for a reason. They are getting bottomy. But again, is it this bottom? I don't know. How much is it? I don't think it's this. I mean, this is where we were buying this thing. Look at all that volume. And then you went, and then you pull back. Remember this day? And it was like, hello, whoa. And it went, man, 22 up to 33. That was really quick. Anyway, sorry, back to the present. Those were the good old days of the spring. We made a lot of money in the first quarter. Did pretty well. Down here, it's again, the seasonality of China unloads, tariffs. I like it here. I mean, it's hard to not. I mean, look at that, 3 freaking bangers. It's due to bounce. How high, how much, how far? That's your call. I'm sticking to the chips. I'm putting my chips in the chips. Semiconductors. VALE. Someone was like, hey, anyone should get on VALE. Hey, I'm with Scott. When it's under 11 or 12, I'll probably buy it. Until then, it's playing this game. It's probably going to bounce. I just don't want it. Just don't want it. I don't need it. Nucor, this little bugger stopped me out on this day, and then it's proceeded to just hover under the 20-day. If you own this stock, you clearly know what the next step is, right? You have to clear the 20-day, and not just clear it. You have to close over it. Close over it's good. Till then, it's just, it looks like it's dead. I don't know. It's like life support. Wake up, buddy. CCJ. Yeah, I guess Japan's turning the reactors back on. Every uranium bull is bullish. I mean, what did we say? It should hold the 20 level. Are you buying it, Dan? Nope, I'm not. Oh, you're crazy. No, it's a head and shoulders top. We called that. Check out the monthly. You failed at 30, whatever, 31, 30. Told you. Holding the 20 month. I just don't trust these names in a bear market. Money's going to rotate out of commodities because who's long commodities? Kids, retail traders. They gave up on tech. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. I just don't think it has the power to break out. That's the case. When's the best time to buy? Again, when the market blows out. Not saying it can't bounce. Please don't twist my words. I just don't believe in the risk reward. I mean, same thing with Arrow. Copper. I mean, copper's got absolutely smoked in the last couple weeks. Seems like somebody's making moves down here. Look at that volume. Probably due to bounce. Congrats. Mosaic left off this name. Left these names alone. It's rather frustrating to see the market do certain things and your stocks not go anywhere. This is why sometimes you level out and you let them go and you move on to what's better. It should hold there, clearly. CF, yeah, should hold somewhere under 80. Like, that's always very obvious. But it's lagging. Like, the SMH is up here while this stuff is down here, right? Let's get into like the tech names here. Think about, again, what's leading. You saw CF at the lows. What's coming off the lows, right? What is making little higher highs and higher lows here? A little higher low. AMD. How in the hell did you know to buy that? No, we projected this move literally months ago. We said this is going to hold. Shorted up here. We shorted up here. Now we're not short. I'm not short, but I bless the thought of buying AMD down here. It makes sense. It's not going to zero in a straight line. SMH, here we go. The CHIPS Act. Literally been telling you folks. I mean, the first sign of this, and people are going to be like, that's crazy that you knew that, was the first thing when Mitch McConnell 2 weeks ago said what? Hey, Nancy, you guys need to figure this out. We're not punching a bunch of Christmas tree bill or Christmas ornaments on this bill. We want a clean CHIPS Act. That took a week for them, or 10 days for them to digest. Down in here, and now what? Look at that, getting over the 20-day. This was very obvious, and I've said this sometimes, and it sometimes plays out like this, and sometimes a little deeper, like the TLT. You blow out below the trend line, it's a trap, and you go higher. That means, oh, snap. You're going much higher. Because think about it. If you trap everybody, you're probably going what? To the channel highs. I've said this a billion times. I'll take 215, 220, 230. Roll up our stops. Take money off. Trade it. Amazing. Again, until the news hits. Keep this in mind. Saying this very thoughtfully. Until the news hits, buy the rumor is all in play. Every tweet is bullish. Every comment by senators from every state is bullish. Until they sign the bill, it's going to continue to rise. That's how it works. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Because guess what? The market maker is a liquidity monster. He's going to finally sell into the headline, because guess who will be reading the news while hanging their noose? Retail. What price is that going to be? We don't know. But what is the thing that we're going to do? We're going to hold our core position and we're going to trade around it. And we're going to ride a trend. Wait, now look at this with a catalyst versus US Steel. You want to buy this? Go right ahead. I don't know the catalyst, because the biggest worry is that Uncle Joe unwinds tariffs against China and they just dump steel. At this point, everything points to higher. Now, tomorrow, is it going to go higher? I don't know. Did you sell out yesterday or today? I feel bad, because there were some folks that were like, oh, I got stopped out. I'm like, what? Why would you stop out completely if you bought down here? Why? You should be buying the dips. You should be leveraging up. Not, again, at this point, this close to the low, you should not be selling. You should always be buying the dips. And if you listen to these rants daily, you're like, this guy's pretty aggressive about it. Maybe he knows something. Maybe he does. Apple. And here's another sign. If Apple is strong, is the market going higher? Is Apple strong versus US Steel, for example? Mosaic. Do you want to own tech or do you want to own commodities? Let me pull back up on Apple. It should be clear as day. I'm not trying to patronize you. It'll just be obvious. We want to trade things that are obvious. I always tell this, if a teenager can't see what you're seeing on the charts, then don't expect others to either. Like, you're just making up your own beliefs. That's great. Apple, congrats. Cool. Meta, little laggy. Stopped out today. I guess the best way to describe it is not excited about the action, but I will look for dips. I mean, keep in mind, look where we're at. I hope people see this. We're at this little wedge low. It's all good. I mean, I'm writing this down for myself. It's to keep an eye, because again, I can't sometimes see all this stuff when the market's moving here and there. I don't focus on it. Look at that. It should bounce. If it doesn't, look, you got a tight stop. I mean, again, this is just trading. People could say, I mean, is it this move? I don't know. That's the biggest thing here. Do you see this? I mean, for the friends of mine who are in the Discord room, do you see this? Is it something like this? A chop bottom and go? I mean, we'd all like it to be that. I mean, that's the easy move, right? But let's go look at previous channels, right? Here you go. Blink, bink, bink, and bink. You know, we'll see. The choppier the bottom, the bigger the move if it ends up flipping the other way. We'll see. Meta, again, I think they updated the app. I actually like it. It reminds me of Workspace with EXP. It's solid. Solid's the best way to describe it. Speaking of solid, Roblox. We've recommended this one since down here. We talked about you could buy it here. I didn't honestly even get to the party until in here, which was nice. Sold some covered calls and been buying back the last couple days. Oh, it's not ripping higher. Well, who gives a crap? Look at the volume down here. Something is going on. Something is going on. Someone's buying this company out. I'm just telling you, something is going on. If the market makers are aggressive down here and the action can be tight, maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want more shares, because what is the buyout price? Even if it was $50 a share, do the math from the 37s. That's a great, I mean, somebody made their career. I don't know. Tesla opens the bearish ETF. Everybody's buying it today. Look at the action. It closed higher. You meaning if you bought it today, what were you thinking? I don't even know. You violated every rule of trading out there. You bought Tesla when the market's going higher, or this negative fund while the market's going higher. Well, everybody was advertising it's a screaming buy. And then what happened? Tesla closes higher. I mean, that's just classic market manipulation to the retail masses. You do something stupid because we'll lead you right to it, and you do it. EXPI, we've said you could buy down here. There's something going on. Again, if fundamentals mattered, the stock would be $90 a share, but they don't, and it's 13. I think it has extreme value. I work for them. We're upping our agents as real estate thins out. The herd continues to move to EXP. Why our commissions structure is the best in the business. Again, it's all about paying the agents, and the company's making good money. But again, if the agents aren't happy, the company will not sustain. That's how real estate works. It's everyone can go anywhere. Double bottom, whatever. With UTHR said, please watch. That's the monthly trend line. I'll just make it like some sort of color where you can't miss it. How about red? Red meaning warning. The upside is limited. We said you should be taking profits up here. Talked about the pop and then retest. Well, I know people just can't walk away from a winner. They just don't know when it's over. It feels like it's over. USO, we talked about people shorting it on that pop. Nice. Hear that pop. Now you're at a point where it's probably choppy sloppy. Something like this. Now I leave it alone. I just move on. XOP, I'm going to wrap through these. I don't think there's much downside. Look at this, double bottom, oil going higher, lower. I don't know. But keep in mind, oil service will rise with the market if the market is rising. Seems very simple to say. Let's see what happens. I don't personally have any desire to short it until what? It pops. Pop, 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 pop. ExxonMobil. Let's end it with, again, I don't even want to go over these oil names. They're snoozing to sleep. I mean, SMH is cooking. This stuff is sniffing the bottom. It should bottom. We'll see. Again, long term, I've said this a bazillion times. I believe at some point ExxonMobil will come back to the 70s. Then you can play it. At this point, yawn puts me to sleep. It really does. I mean, that action can be great, but then it's not. Let's roll through Soxel, because again, people are like, oh, I want to chart it. I want you to see. Just don't. It just follows the SMH. All right. Let me do my real estate rant, because I really want people to start thinking about this, because even Wild Warrior was talking about, he's like, man, we own duplexes, triplex, quadplexes, and we've owned them for 7 years, and we have made so much money. And I tell this all the time. If you think inflation is here to stay, housing is going up, rents are going up. Wages eventually will catch up, but housing is the safest play. I know you want to buy your stocks. You want to have the biggest trading account in the world. I don't. I want to own monopoly kind of. I want to own tons of houses, duplexes, quadplexes, the same thing. That's the goal, is to get into real estate. If you need help with that, I've said this a bazillion times, and I'll say it again. Let me be a part of the transaction. I can be a referral agent. I will refer you to an agent who I trust. I will vet them. I'll make sure they know what the heck they're doing. And guess what? The goal is to have me help be the point person for your investing ideas in real estate. If you love trading, well, then you should probably like this. All right, somebody knocked on the door, had to answer it. No clue what I was talking about, other than let me help you, advise you. Again, how to put it on the market, how to manage it, who to speak to about financing, all these little things. That's where the value is. And if you are a buyer of real estate, keep in mind the listing agent and the home being sold pays all the commission. You basically would be paying nothing to have me involved in the transaction, which I would love to be, especially if it's investing in real estate, because that, as much as I like trading, real wealth is made in what? Real assets. These paper games, this fugazi of a market that we play every day could end tomorrow. But you know what people still need next week, next month, next year, next decade? They need a house. That's the key. So anyway, keep thinking about all the tax advantages. There's so much benefit to real estate. Again, the government never got in the business of building homes. They wanted companies, they wanted people, they wanted tax advantages for people to be involved, because they can't do it. Love this stuff. Talk to you later. Have a great night. Love you guys. Be safe. Enjoy.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.